if you're a film and television actor, the camera's here. So everything my face does, the audience is gonna find out. So I'm the last person to ask that because I'm still trying to learn that myself. Every single role where an actor has done that crazy body transformation, something about their performance is always heightened in my opinion. How to get a part in a movie? Well, I guess your starting point would be like being an extra, which would be like, that's like a good way to get your foot in the door to kind of learn how a set works. And then like you can start with like volunteer short films and then make yourself a demo reel, which you can give to an agent. And then that agent can get you non-union projects. And then those non-union projects can get you union projects. And then that's usually your first step into getting an actual film role. But yeah, unfortunately, it's not something you can just kind of jump right into. It took me, it's like a year and a half of like making $0 to actually get my first official part in a movie. So yeah, it's quite the process. The best thing that I learned is that being yourself is always gonna win. So you can be what you think they're looking for, you can try and be what you hope they think, or you read your definition of your character and you assume that this is what they want to see. I always find being your 100% genuine self is going to beat all other options of you trying to act a certain way. It's different when the camera's rolling, but I find the most important is that 10-15 seconds when you walk into the room, say your hellos. Don't shake the casting director's hand, ever. It's very awkward. But when you walk into the room for the first time and they see you and you say, hey, how are you, etc., etc., that's where you need to be your genuine self, which is actually very difficult to do. It's where you need to be extremely calm. It's like the calm before the storm, but they really want to see what you're like as a person before you roll as an actor, so they want to see the contrast. Interesting. Theater actor's a lot bigger because you have so much less to work with. So if you're in theater, if I'm seeing you from 100 feet away, I can't pick up a quiver in your lip. I can't pick up how you blink. I can't pick up how your lips move. I can't pick up how your eyebrows move, where your eyes are looking. So theater, you have way less tools to act with, if that makes sense. So you have your entire body, of course, but if you're a film and television actor, the camera's here. So everything my face does, the audience is gonna find out. So if I'm lying or if I'm the bad guy, etc., you're gonna be able to see it a lot more through film and television. But theater, you have to play it way bigger because guy in row 76 is gonna have no idea what your character's doing if you play it just in your face. I think it's common for actors to kind of get stuck in a role. There's a lot of celebrities that I've found will do like one big life-changing role and then it's like for the rest of their career, they're a part of that character. Like the famous example would be Johnny Depp has been Captain Jack Sparrow ever since he's been Jack Sparrow, right? There's always that quirkiness in him that's just ingrained in his personality now. I don't think I've had a big enough part really to get kind of my character stuck in me. Like most of the characters I've played so far have been quite a bit of my own personality. I haven't really had to be too far of a stretch from who I am as a person, regardless of acting. I'm the last person to ask that because I'm still trying to learn that myself. There's like 1,000 different techniques people use. If I'm learning my lines for the next day, I always find writing them out has been something about putting the pen to paper, seeing it come out of your hand helps tremendously, but man, there's so many different tactics. If I'm doing a self-tape, I will rattle my lines off with my reader. I'll read them, and then I'll do the scene, I'll do the scene, I'll do the scene, and then I'll just get rid of the book, and then usually it's kind of there. But yeah, there's some people that chew cinnamon gum, there's people that overdose on omega-3, which apparently helps the brains, so there's a million different techniques. Just gotta find which one works. Personally, I think acting is much more subjective than a group of people saying who the best actor is. I think there's been so many movies where someone will say how great that person is, and then I'll be like, I didn't like their performance at all, and vice versa. So for me, I think an award for acting is not really, I don't know, I guess it's more, I hate to say it, like disgenuine. Like I don't think it's something that you can say like, oh, you were the best actor in that, because it's Like someone might think, it's like the same with music. I don't think you can say which musician is the best, right? It's what you like. So I guess it all kind of depends. It's just being genuine, right? That's what people want to see. Like even myself, like I know there's one famous case, I forget the actress's name, but they CGI'd a tear. They wanted a tear in the scene because her character was supposed to be emotional, but like the actress didn't get to that point. So her character, in my opinion, didn't get to that point, right? So I like the genuine of it's real, it is what it is. So like Christian Bale to lose X amount of pounds for a role, I think like the genuine, obviously it goes to an extreme where you're worried about the person's health, but every single role where an actor has done that crazy body transformation, something about their performance is always heightened in my opinion. What should an actor do every day? Cry, probably. No, I'm just kidding. What should an actor do every day? Have fun, really. That's like, I think the toughest thing for a lot of actors, especially when you're in your first few years, you're dealing with the constant grind of the next audition. You don't know when your next dollar's coming in. You don't know which casting director likes you. You don't know if, paying $60 to do this self-tape is worth it. You don't know if driving across the city or for myself, I was living in Ottawa, so I would drive 3.5 hours, an hour from Ottawa. I was driving 3.5 hours for an audition, and the whole time I'd be like, I don't even know if I'm right for this role. But after all that kind of stopped and I kind of changed my idea of what I was doing, it was like, I'm not working a day job that I hate. Even though my job is stressful, overall it's still really fun and exciting. So I think focusing on that, we still do something pretty cool every day, regardless if it's not always roses, it's a fun job. I studied with Mr. David Rotenberg in Toronto, who is a phenomenal acting coach. There's a lot of actors that go to school. I personally don't think that's the route I would want to take. I know it's obviously worked tremendously for some people, but for me it didn't make sense. I think a coach is necessary. There is a couple famous actors that have their, I never took an acting class, which is cool, but at the same time I think you're always going to learn something, and I think it's a very valuable, just to be in the room with a bunch of other actors and to learn their techniques and use your own techniques, etc., etc. So I think, in my opinion, you have to train in some way, shape, or form. For example, some actors would say my coach is the worst, and I would say some other coaches don't work for me. So you really got to find who vibes with you, who understands you. I could go, me and you could go into the same acting class. I could leave and be like, that was the greatest class ever, and you could be like, I hated it. So it all depends on who you are. It's very, very subjective. That's I go periods of time where I work 0 times in 6 months, so I make a total of $0, and then I've also done films where I'm making more money than I can count in 14 days. So yeah, I think, who was the actor that just signed a deal with someone where every single film he did, no matter what happened, he was making $10 million. But yeah, so 0 to unlimited. You could be, some of the world's most rich and famous people are movie stars, so. I like that every day I get to be myself, if that makes sense. I find anytime I had, it's been a few years since I've had a regular job. It's been about 5 years since I've had a regular full-time job. I find I'm always myself, if that makes sense. I get to be me no matter where I go. So if I'm going to a production, if I'm going to an audition, I never have to pretend I'm, the button-up professional. I can always kind of be my goofy, annoying self every day. So I appreciate that quite a bit. What do I hate about my profession? I think there's a lot of negativity in acting. I think there's a lot of people that look down upon actors. I think there's a lot of people that there's a lot of actors that look down on other actors. I've had actor friends that another one of our actor friends will book a role and they're furious. So I find negativity is huge. A lot of people, and it's a stressful job. So you have a lot of people that look at their own job and kind of pity themselves too, like, oh, like this is so terrible, like I need this part and I should have got this and I should have got this. So I think there's like a lot of like brattiness to it. I kind of just go with the flow, like whatever happens happens. And yeah, I think I would hate the negativity more than anything. Run. Advice to a new actor: don't take it too seriously. Like, I think a lot of people will jump into the profession and feel like they need to, I need to book 10 movies this year and I need to book 3 TV shows in my first month of being an actor. Like, you need to just kind of take it as it comes. There's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be, like I said, there's times when there's 6 months, like the coronavirus might happen and you might not work for a year. Like, so you got to be like super prepared for any curveball that's going to come your way. Three words. This might be the toughest question. 3 words. I love you.